You don't see Steven Spielberg's production company being called Steven Spielberg Production Company.
Lucas.
Yeah, but Lucas is an asshole. Like, the guy has made all of his money off of 2 franchises, practically.
And mostly toys.
Oh, all toys. Star Wars would not be the billion-dollar empire it was if it didn't have that toy brand.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dominc DeMore, and thank you for tuning in to the second best thing you will hear all week. We have a great show for you this evening that does not include a top-notch film review, but it does have some of the latest film movie news, and also our assorted thoughts and opinions that range from insightful to downright obnoxious. This is the I've Had Better Movies podcast. Let's kick it off. James, what do we have for the fans this week?
Hey everyone, my name is James Langos, and welcome to the show. This week we do not have a movie review. We just have some news that we're going to share with you guys.
Yeah, just so you guys know, a little behind-the-scenes info. I am not currently even in the state of Ohio. I am down in Texas for a different work event for my real big boy job. So just the fun thing that I get to do with James every week. So we were unable to record, so we're doing this in advance, and thus we weren't able to see a film. And we thought it'd be best if we just talked about some of our own opinionated things rather than dole out Batman Returns to review.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And it's like we're talking to you in the future.
Exactly. So, on to our first news story of the day. The most popular talk on the internet over the past few days has been the first trailer for Rogue One, a Star Wars story that dropped just a few days ago. James, have you had the opportunity to see this trailer?
Of course I have.
What'd you think?
It looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly what I thought. Just for those of you who have never heard of this before, because maybe I took it for granted that everybody just knew there was another Star Wars movie coming out, but I don't think many people knew that Rogue One was going to be coming out, especially from the people that I talked to. They're like, how did I not know about this Star Wars movie? Like, what is it? And it tells the story of how a group of rebel soldiers / mercenaries / bounty hunters are able to steal the plans to the Death Star. It's referred to in the original trilogy films, and now we get to see the idea brought to life. Starring in the lead role is Felicity Jones, who is a relative newcomer.
She was in Theory of Everything, so that was her. She was Stephen Hawking's wife.
Is that her?
Yeah.
I thought that was somebody else.
Nope, I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah, Jane Hawking.
Oh, what do you know? Scratch everything I just said. Didn't see that movie, for the record.
Really?
No, you saw it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
Okay, yeah. Come on. Don't give me a freely when you're like, oh, it's okay.
I mean, it's on HBO. That's why I questioned it.
Well, I don't have cable.
Yeah, but you got HBO.
Yeah, but you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to find that login every time I want to do it?
You got to do that every time?
Pretty close. It also helps I don't know the password.
We should find the password because HBO's worth it.
Yeah. But I got Netflix and...
Yeah, but there's enough to watch.
Amazon Prime. I'm like watching Boardwalk Empire right now.
Which is also on HBO?
It is, but it also is on Amazon Prime.
How about that?
All right, so back to the main topic of Rogue One. I was incredibly impressed with this trailer. The first thing that came to mind was it looks like OG Star Wars. Like, the new Force Awakens, it had some callbacks to the original things, but it's set 30 years in the future, so certain things are changed. This one, while watching it, I was like, wow, this looks like what I saw when I was 9 years old.
Yeah, episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, exactly. So that was probably the thing that came to mind most, where I was like, oh my God, look at that Star Destroyer. Like, look at the AT-ATs. And don't even know what it's called because I'm not that much of a Star Wars nerd, but the Rebel soldier with the helmet that goes like 2 feet beyond the back of his head. I was like, that guy was on the ship. Like, he died.
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool. What did you think of it?
I thought it was interesting, and it didn't give too much away.
It is a teaser trailer. It's not an official trailer.
Yeah, which is still good. Unfortunately, they're probably going to give a lot more away when the trailer actually comes out. But I'm hoping that won't be until at least summer. And Felicity Jones looks really good.
She does.
Like, really good.
Yeah, in that, I can't remember. They're referred to, I don't think they're Death Troopers, but she is in that final shot where she's in the armor and everything.
Yeah.
She looks really good in that.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all black.
Mm-hmm.
With the
I think it's
the emblem.
Yeah, I think it's an Imperial Trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One thing I did have an issue with in the trailer, though, there was some rough dialogue. Like her line where it's like, "This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel." That was a dumb line.
Yeah, they're getting cheesy.
Yeah.
I think that's just Disney.
Probably.
There's nothing you can do about that.
It might fit better in the movie. You never know. It might just play into her character a little more. It's probably because we don't know enough about her, but really looking forward to it.
It's got some big names.
Yeah, it does. Who is it? Diego Luna.
Yes. Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen from the TV show Hannibal, or he was Mr. French in Casino Royale. He's one of those popular, like, if you want a bad guy, this is who you're going to guess.
Excellent villain.
Yeah. Don't know if he's going to be a villain yet, and I don't believe we saw him in this teaser trailer that I can remember, unless it was a quick flash.
I don't think we did.
Yeah. The one I am excited for is Ben Mendelsohn, who...
Yes.
Yeah. He was the man who was dressed in white in the film, in the trailer. He is a Grand Admiral, at least that's what he's rumored to be, in this film, along the lines of General Tarkin, or Grand Admiral Tarkin, or whatever you want to call him. I can't remember. From the original film. So, really looking forward to his performance. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's terrific. I know you didn't watch this, but people at home should watch this. Bloodline on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I know you have a certain hate for Kyle Chandler because he plays the same character almost in everything, which is understandable. But it's an excellent TV show, and Ben Mendelsohn is terrific in it. He's absolutely amazing. It's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, I love him in A Place Beyond the Pines.
Yes.
In it for a short amount of time. He's a supporting character for sure, but some of his dialogue in that film and his acting, it lifts that movie up.
Yeah, his character in Place Beyond the Pines is very similar to Bloodline.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I might check it out just to see him.
Yeah, definitely worth it. And I think it's an interesting story too. I think I finished it in probably a week.
That's not
week
bad.
And a half, which is pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's not quite Dexter pace, but
no,
still pretty solid.
Dexter was unbelievable. I'm semi-embarrassed of that.
We all are, James. You are not alone in that. Well, let us know what you guys thought of the trailer. You can either comment below on this video. You can send us a email to ihbpodcast@gmail.com. Or, Jim, tell the people how to find us on Twitter.
You can tweet at us at IHBpodcast and the hashtag IHB movies. Someone please, one hashtag would be great.
It really would. It would lift our spirits considerably.
Yeah, we got one email and it just made me all fuzzy and warm inside.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit more love on Facebook, so you can hit us up on there too. We're posting all the time. Leave a comment on our Facebook page. It's the I've Had Better podcast page. And let's go on to the next story.
Let's do it.
In additional news, and a story that James and we share a similar opinion on, so we're not going to give it too much time, but it is worth note. The Warner Brothers film / DC Comics Suicide Squad, which comes out this August, is returning for reshoots. Now, there are reports online from multiple sources that the reason for the reshoots is a initial reaction to Batman vs. Superman. The idea that the movie was too dark and it had too few jokes that the public just wasn't into. So they're going back and making it funnier. I just did air quotes on a podcast. But in reality, according to the actors, they are not going back to make it funnier, and there is a decent amount of humor in the film already. Instead, they're going back to return to some action shots. James, who do you believe here, and what are your thoughts on the reshoots in totality?
I don't know who to believe on this, to be honest. I want to believe the studio because they probably did get some bad feedback from Batman vs. Superman. But Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, I don't think had that many jokes either.
No.
They had some decent ones that were okay, but they weren't anything funny. And Batman vs. Superman is definitely a much darker film where I don't really think jokes are necessary. And I'm sure Suicide Squad will have plenty of just darker humor.
Yeah, I mean, it has to. Just going by...
The Joker itself usually is just funny.
Yeah, now, granted, this Joker looks like the sadistic Joker, so I'm not expecting the Heath Ledger Joker last we got, because even though his Heath Ledger's Joker was menacing and
he had some funny lines.
Yes, he had some great lines where like he was doing insane sadistic stuff, but it still made you laugh. I don't exactly get that feel from
what we've seen
Leto's, but I'm okay with that because like the Joker in the current form of comics written by Scott Snyder, he doesn't have a huge amount of jokes. He's definitely the more like insane, like cut his own face off kind of Joker. Spoilers if you read the comics, but it happened a while ago, so you shouldn't know about it. So actually, he didn't actually cut his own face off, but whatever. Somebody cut his face off and then he put it back on. Anyway, like I was saying,
moving on.
Yeah. The other characters in this movie, like Harley Quinn, she's going to say funny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They get happy. It just be with her delivery. She could deliver non-funny lines,
and people are still going to laugh.
Exactly, because it's going to be so awkward. Like that line they show in the trailer, where she says, "What? I should kill all of them?" Sorry, the voices in my head. Yeah, that's not what they really said. It's funny, and I'm sure there's a lot more moments like that. Boomerang, Jai Courtney's character, he looks like he's going to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Because he just seems out of place.
Yes,
from everyone else.
Yeah, and he
looks too normal.
No, you're thinking of Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman's.
Well, yeah, no, I thought he looked like
the man with the mutton chops who cracks a beer in the middle of a battle.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Confused the two. Yep, you're good. Moving on.
It's been a short week this week, so our research isn't quite up to par. But yeah, no, I think this movie will be just fine, funny wise. I don't think they're gonna do over the top funny, but I think it'll have more jokes than Batman vs Superman. Plus, it's David Ayer; he's a better director. Like, End of Watch is not a comedy, and that movie has laughs.
Yes.
Fury is a very dark movie, but you still have plenty of laughs in that. Like, There are moments where you just can't help but laugh because either the tension is so high that even just a small little joke will set you off, or just there actually is something funny.
I think it just goes to show how bad the writing was for Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. All right, on to our next topic. All right, in my final news of the day, it actually revolves around casting news. James and I had talked about this a few weeks back, but via the Fast and Furious 8 Facebook page, it has been officially announced that Charlize Therone has been cast as the main villain of Fast 8. James, give us your thoughts on the casting, and where would you want to see the character go?
First off, anything Charlize Theron does is usually pretty good. And I do enjoy when she does play a villain. Monster, she's basically a villain.
Yeah.
And then Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah.
She's a villain, and she does it pretty well.
Yeah. She is not the worst part of that movie, that's for sure.
No, Kristen Stewart is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
There are very few movies that Kristen Stewart is not the worst part of.
Yes.
Even movies that Kristen Stewart is not in, Kristen Stewart's still the worst part of.
Somehow, yes. That's absolutely true. And I don't really know what direction they're going to go with the villain. I don't even have any speculation of what they're going to do. I'm kind of...
What I hope they avoid is I do not want her to be Jason Statham's sister or wife. And I honestly feel that's what they're going to do because it's Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Which, I don't think they've had a female villain.
No, this will be... Well, they've had female... They do the... I call it the comic book move, or you could call it like the pro wrestling move, where it's like
they had Gina Carano, right?
They had Gina Carano, and then in the last one, she wasn't a major villain, but they set up Ronda Rousey.
That's just to get a MMA fighter in a film.
Yeah, what I refer to by the comic book move or the pro wrestling move is, all right, there's the big bad guy, and he goes against the big good guy, and the big bad guy's sidekick is usually a woman who goes against the big good guy's girlfriend.
Yes.
Which has happened in the last two versions with Michelle Rodriguez fighting both Gina Carano and
Ronda
Rousey. So
they're headed in that direction.
Yep.
But she's not as built as either.
No, I do not think she's going to do very much actual fighting. I don't think she's going to be action. I think she'll end up being more mastermind type thing.
I hope so.
Yeah. Which I'm looking forward to. Like, trust me. I think it'll definitely raise the level of these movies. The only question I have is, are the writers of these films equipped for something like this?
Probably not.
No. The director I have faith in, F. Gary Gray, he did Straight Outta Compton, and he's done a few other like really good movies. So I'm looking forward to what he can do with the franchise. But no Paul Walker, and Vin Diesel's getting a little older. Don't really want to see him fight some dude with a giant wrench again. So yeah. I'm going to go see the movie.
They've kind of played that out.
I'm going to enjoy the movie probably no matter what.
We'll probably see that together.
But it's going to be shitty, and I know it.
Yeah, I think we've seen the last 3 together.
Definitely 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4, we did not.
No, I don't know if I saw it.
3, I don't even know if I saw in theaters.
No, I did not.
2, I saw in theaters.
Yeah,
but
Too Fast, Too Furious? Absolutely.
Yeah, we weren't friends then. That's when Jimmy was a cool kid.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I hated the game. Jimmy got all the chicks in high school. It happens.
I don't want to tell you, I don't have any now.
It's all right. Who still lives at home with his mother?
Don't you dare badmouth my mother.
Let's face it, I got the worst end of that. I live with Adam.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's go on to our next topic.
The next topic is The Hollywood Reporter released a story a few days ago stating New Line and LeBron James, Spring Hill production company, have acquired the rights to Connor Toole and Daily Elite's viral video from 2015. In the video, Toole poses as a second-round pick of the Utah Jazz and proceeds to hit the town the night of the draft. Dom, would you go see this film, and who would you cast?
First, have you seen this viral video?
No, I haven't.
It's interesting. I looked it up because of the story. I had never heard of it before. But the dude's, he's 6'10". He looks kind of the part. He's a little bit more of a chubby 6'10", but he looks like he could pass for it. And it's hilarious how many people are just like fame whores who are just like, oh my God, that guy's famous. I want a picture with him. And like,
do you mean women?
No. I mean, men, women, children. Like, they see somebody famous, they're instantly like, I want that autograph. I want that photo. What
was he wearing?
A suit?
Did he have on the Utah Jazz hat too?
Not in the beginning. In the beginning of the video, he's just wearing the suit and he's standing outside the Barclays Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, like, he convinced the floor security of the draft that he's like, yeah, I'm in the draft. And he actually was on the floor of the NBA draft.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the draft ended. He puts on a Utah Jazz hat, just like they give out at the NBA draft. And he went out to the bars. And of course, because nobody cares about the Utah Jazz if you don't live in Utah. No. And a second-round pick at that. But he goes to the bars and like everybody's buying him shots and they're taking pictures with him and they're hugging him. And he actually gets flashed by like 3 different girls. And there's this whole thing where it's like, yeah, no, she's got a breast piercing, a nipple piercing.
Man, I wish I was 6'10".
Yeah, exactly. And then like the video ends and it gets a little creepy here because like he starts making out with this chick and it's like, I don't know who I should feel bad for, like, because she's just making out with him because she thinks he's famous, but he told her that he's a second-round pick. So do I feel bad for her or do I not feel bad? So, but I think this sounds like a hilarious story.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know where they can go with a movie on it, I'm a little worried about that, but I mean, a short film or video, I think it is awesome.
I think it's got a great basis for a movie. And that's something we should tell everybody. All that happened was New Line and LeBron James production company, all they did was buy the rights to make this movie. There's no script, there's no actor, there's no director. They just bought the rights to create it if they want to. So they gave either Elite Daily or this Connor guy money for the story. And now they have to build it. So it could be years before we see this movie made. It could never get made at all. I want it to get made. And as far as the story goes, the way I would do it is I would either have him be I would have the main character be semi-unathletic guy working in some office in the city.
Yeah, just some goofy looking guy.
Yeah, no real life, like things that life is passing him by. Big fan of the NBA. And decides, like, these second rounders, they get drafted, they make millions of dollars. Like, I could be that guy. And he just gets the idea. He goes out, he parties all night, they go through some shenanigans and adventures, and he falls in love with a girl. That's the obvious way to do it. Like,
yeah, just make a romantic comedy out of it.
Yeah, you make it a romantic comedy. I would do a raunchy romantic comedy.
Definitely R-rated.
Yeah, and like then he like has to try to find a way to. And she finds out, obviously, that he's not an NBA pick because he can't shoot a free throw to save his life. Mm-hmm. So, and it'll be filled with, I'm
sure,
cameos. NBA cameos. So it'll definitely be cool. Like, imagine where like they're going through the city and all of a sudden they end up at like Shaq's party.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh my god, it's Shaq. Like
the real question is though, if they go towards a raunchy comedy, will the NBA back this film, or is it going to be some poor draft lookalike?
I mean, I think they'll definitely get like licensing and that stuff. Like, I don't think they'll do like
fake teams.
Yeah, I don't think they'll like do the New York Jespers or something like that.
I hope not.
Yeah. Plus, LeBron James is involved, and I guarantee if he goes to the NBA, he's like, I want this, or else I am not going to China to promote the NBA this year. They're gonna be like, we're good. No, what do you want to do? Hey, what about this? We rename the New York Knicks the New York Connor Tools. That'd be cool, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, they'd probably do something stupid like that.
So, as far as casting goes, I do have a list of names that I would want to see in this role.
He took all the black guys, by the way.
I did. And it's not a racist thing. It's just there's so few tall white guys in Hollywood that they're the only ones who make sense. Because you can't really have like Zac Efron in this role. Zac Efron would never pass for an NBA point guard.
He's too popular too.
Exactly. Yeah. But he's the right age. And also the other thing is you have to make them young. But also the people on my list, they're great actors. So, and I'd love to see them do a comedy like this. My number one choice is Gerard Carmichael. You have seen him in movies like Neighbors, and he currently has his own TV show on NBC, The Carmichael Show. I think this guy's hilarious. He's a great stand-up comedian. He's got decent to better acting chops, especially in comedies. And I think I don't think he's that young, but they could definitely make him look young enough to do this.
Yeah.
Other one on my list, Michael B. Jordan, just because you can cast that man in literally anything. I hear he almost got cast as Abraham Lincoln in Lincoln.
Except Fantastic Four.
Yeah. We should just never talk about that movie. Like, it's so bad. Next name, Stephen or Stephen James. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, but he would play Jesse Owens in Race. Jason Mitchell from Straight Outta Compton, who played Eazy-E. And my second pick for, I think, who could really pull this off is Shameik Moore from the movie Dope. Check it out. It's on Netflix. It's really good. Really takes you back to like late 80s, 90s type era where you're like, yep, this is what it was like. Not that I grew up in Compton or...
You watched enough movies.
Yeah, I watched enough movies to imagine what it was like. And sneaky pick that probably won't happen, But if they wanted to go with somebody who is slowly rising in Hollywood, I'd go with Wyatt Russell. We know he can do comedy. He's the son of Kurt Russell, and he's been in films like the upcoming Everybody Wants Some, and he was in 22 Jump Street, and I think he's extremely funny, and he will probably turn this into something special. Plus, he's 6'2", which is practically a giant in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make Tom Cruise look 6'2", they can make this guy look 7'5".
How about you, James?
Since Dom took most of the good ones, I'm stuck with the white bunch.
Nobody ever said that you couldn't find the stories. I have the same iPhone you do.
Yeah, I worked a long day. I don't think he is going to be a good acting choice, but he will look the part. I think Liam Hemsworth could play this because he's taller.
Yep.
And you could definitely play that Australian side.
Yeah, that's a good point. He is international, and Australians often get drafted high in the NBA.
Yep, I think it's definitely possible. And then two of my older picks, Armie Hammer, I think could do it. I think they can make him look young enough to be like he played in Europe for a few years type of deal and then tried to come over to the draft. And then Adam Driver, because he looks like he's from Lithuania.
Your list is really good actors. I just don't know if any of them can pull off a comedy.
I know. It'd be tough.
Yeah, no, this is a tough casting. Although it's LeBron James, so let's face it, this is probably going to end up going to Kevin Hart.
Yes. Yep, the new Spud Webb.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go on to our next topic.
Moving on. All right, now it's time for Tough Questions, a segment dedicated to getting answers to life's worst quandaries, like, how many packs of cigarettes do I have to smoke so my voice sounds like Will Arnett? And giving you, the fans, the opportunity to ask us questions to encourage intense debate that could ruin our friendship. If you would like to ask us questions, just send us a tweet using IHB Movies or hashtag IHB Movies, or send us an email to IHBpodcast@gmail.com. First question.
And
only question. Who is more famous? Who is a more famous sidekick? Robin or Chewbacca?
There we go. For the sake of debate, I am going to take the Robin side, and James is going to take the bipedal hairy dog.
He will eat you.
Technically, we've never seen Chewbacca eat, so for all we know, he's a vegetarian.
He could be.
So, from the context of my argument, if you look at this in the grand scheme of things, you have to go Robin. Because when people think of the word sidekick, they think Robin. Like, no, everybody always goes like Jimmy, he's the Robin to my Batman.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what happens when I get to control the website.
Hey, comic book nerd. Is there a comic where Robin kicks Batman's ass?
There actually is.
All right, good. You should read that one.
Yeah, Robin does have his moments in the comics. But ultimately, we all know he gets pwned by Batman.
Dick.
From a film standpoint, I don't think we've seen the quintessential Robin yet. But when we do, I think it'll blow people away.
Yeah, good luck with that. Chewbacca is obviously the choice. How many movies has Chewbacca been in?
4. Well, no, technically 5. He did sneak into the third prequel in Revenge of the Sith.
And I think he's the definition of a sidekick, because you don't see him unless you see, except for one, unless you see Harrison Ford. Han Solo.
That's true to a point. But the fact that, like, a sidekick is there to do more than be a glorified mechanic. Chewie's a glorified mechanic. That's all he really does. Especially in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get to fire the bowcaster, practically.
He does plenty in 7.
Yes, he does enough.
And then he gives his gun to Harrison Ford.
Several times. Like, Chewie never actually hits anyone. Like, except for Chewie lights up Kylo Ren, and he does get to go ham at the end after, spoilers, Han dies. But at the same time, I think Robin is just that quintessential sidekick to where you could put him in like a Star Wars movie can survive without Chewie, just like a Batman movie can survive without Robin. But I think
it has plenty of times.
It has plenty of times. But I think if each of them were given equal opportunity, Robin would rise up. And plus, Robin's a little bit more of a rounded character. He's not Batman. He doesn't go along with everything Batman says. He has his own personality, and he fights with the inner turmoil of like when he grows up and Batman eventually dies. Is he going to take over the Batman cowl? Is he going to continue on as what eventually becomes Nightwing? Or is he going to just stop fighting crime altogether?
But Robin and Batman are not friends like Han Solo and Chewbacca.
That is a solid point.
When I imagine a sidekick, they are friends. They are loyal to a fault. And Robin is not loyal all the time.
True, but I always saw...
I mean, Batman does go off the rails sometimes.
He does. And I always saw Batman and Robin's relationship a little bit more, obviously, because Robin is Batman's ward, but a little bit more father and son-like, where at some point in your life, there's going to be a time where, like, you know what? Like, you and your dad aren't close, but as time goes along, you're going to realize that all that he did for you, and you're going to come back. And you're going to cherish all those moments together.
I agree that they are more. Batman is more of a father figure to Robin, but Chewbacca, they're. I don't know. We don't even know what age they are, but
Chewbacca's old.
He's really old.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford's really old.
Yeah. The other thing is Chewbacca, like. With the sidekick, you have to have some hope that eventually they'll become like a full-fledged hero. Chewbacca doesn't even like. He meets Rey for 20 minutes, and then suddenly Rey becomes the captain of the Millennium Falcon. Like he doesn't even get to fly doesn't even get to fly the ship. He's still sitting in the co-pilot's chair.
I've got no argument to that other than Rey's a better pilot.
Has Chewie? What has Chewie been doing for 30 years? Just pushing like 3 buttons? Like
piloting.
I don't actually know how to steer. All I know is how to turn it on.
Chewie is a gunner. That's all he is.
A gunner who isn't even allowed to shoot his own gun.
No, he does occasionally.
Yeah, he just never hits anything.
He hits it when it counts.
Tell you what, he's a badass monster chess player, though.
Yeah, apparently.
Let the Wookiee win. But in this case, no! I refuse to let the Wookiee win. Robin is the better sidekick.
We could go on and on about this.
We could. So, who do you guys think is the best sidekick? You heard both of our arguments. Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and the I've Had Better podcast network as a whole. The more subscriptions we get, the more content we can provide, and hopefully one day we can even get sponsors. Not so much to intrude because we want this show to be about you guys, the fans, but it also would be nice to not have to empty my life savings to go see Melissa McCarthy this weekend. Nobody's looking forward to that. With that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, like I said, like and subscribe to this video. And follow us on Twitter at IHBpodcast. And on Facebook, go like the I've Had Better podcast page. James, tell the people where to find you.
I'm on Twitter at _Kaiser_Soze or on Facebook as Jimmy Langos. And don't forget to check out the website, www.ihbpodcast.com.
Mm-hmm. And I am Dominc DeMore. You can follow me on Twitter at Dom DeMore. That's DOMDEMORE. And on Facebook at Dominic DeMore. How was the show this week, James?
I've had better.
Good night, everybody.